Yeah. It's Mr. Young.
And it's Forward in the building.
And we are here live at the Grapplemax Pro Wrestling Studios, joined by the one and only Prabhu.
Woo, Prabhu, what are you doing here, bro, on the podcast?
It's a pleasure to be here. You know, I was told that there's a show coming up soon, and that you need a more objective view of the card.
Can we call him our Grapplemax correspondent,
Yeah, for sure.
analyst?
Officially?
What's your favorite title?
I like the silverback, but I think correspondent is good. I am an objective silverback after all.
Nice. Okay, so for some context to our listeners as well, right? Prabhu, of course, is unfortunately down with an injury, a bit of a long-term injury.
Yes.
Do you want to give us like a quick update on how's that been, and how's everything
Right,
going?
so I'll make it quick. I have a torn ACL and a partially torn meniscus. I'm going to be out of injury for 9 months or so. So in the meantime, I'm here with my two podcast buddies.
Yeah.
And we're here to cover what's going on in the world of wrestling.
Nice.
Nice. And it has nothing to do with my connection with them and Showtime and me doing their theme
Yeah.
song. It's like
Nothing to do whatsoever, nothing to do.
It's just
Sure
basically, one day, the Silverback came to
Yeah.
us and was like, hey, I'll be out. I just did a Triple H.
Right.
So
I did a Triple H.
I just did a Triple H. So in the meantime, you need anyone to give objective views on wrestling, not just local wrestling, WWE, AEW.
Yep.
He'll be our Daniel Cormier. He'll
Yes.
be, our wrestling analyst, our Big E, at this point in time.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Of course, all this wouldn't be possible if we didn't have the ability to keep the lights on. We want to give a shout out to our lovely sponsor, Hasif. Hasif_captures, by the way. That's his Instagram. Hey, do us a favor, drop him a follow, all right? Show him some love, like how he's shown us love. And he's seen the love in this pro wrestling community, and he's so impressed by it, bro.
Yeah, man. He's been calling us geeky, though. I do take offense to that.
I do not tell. I am
No.
King Geek.
Oh, yeah.
Geeky just means that you are passionate, bro. There's nothing wrong with being passionate about something.
But nothing about that is geeky in the sense that, because he said like, we can talk about 1 or 2 hours worth of wrestling, and I'm like,
Those are amateur hours, bro.
Rookie numbers,
Rookie
bro.
numbers. What, 2? We can go 5 hours if
yes,
we want.
correct. Especially so, if you guys want to get him involved in the community, do follow him.
Yes.
Do check out the things that he do. He's an independent financial advisor.
Yes.
He can. He's. I think he's an expert in like kind of reviewing your portfolio, financial portfolio as well. And if you want to have tea with him, he has a tea with Hasif series where he can talk about anything under the sun, from entrepreneurship, branding, finance.
Fitness, bro. He's a fitness bro.
He is a fitness bro. He
Yeah.
is. Have you seen his stuff?
I've seen his stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in shape.
Good-looking guy, right?
He's a good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy.
Okay.
Some people call him the Shane McMahon.
The shame.
Maybe he's trying to take over the local wrestling and like how Shane McMahon trying to take
I
over
like
AEW.
it. I like it.
Please follow him.
Allegedly. With the Shane McMahon stuff.
Allegedly. Yeah.
But yeah, drop him a follow. And the best part is, if you do have a meetup with him, right? The first meetup is just for vibes. No business talk, no shop talk. He has a little like Google Forms thing you can fill out on his Instagram page. The link is there. Go and check it out. Once again, it's Hasif_captures.
Yeah, man. If you're a local wrestler or you're a local wrestling company, he has never been to a local wrestling show. So, Prabhu, what should we tell him about like Grapplemax? What they can expect?
I would say, Hasif, if you want to watch the best wrestling, unbiased, objective opinion in Singapore, Grapplemax Amplify 5, October 26th.
This weekend.
This weekend.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
weekend
this
we're
Saturday.
going to be talking about Grapplemax on this show.
Yeah.
Not only do we have Prabhu on the show, we do have a guest later on as well.
A certain Don't Call Me Oppa, who we've talked to before, and he's been away for quite a while. I am very interested to see what he's been up to, what's his mindset after, quite a few, like, the last time we saw him here in the Grapplemax Pro Wrestling Studios was getting the life chopped out of him by Dick Togo.
I think Dick Togo chopped him right out into Eat, Pray, Love territory. Bro.
Yeah, okay, so I want to see where his head is at, and of course, preview the entire card with him as well.
Yes, as well. And of course, before we dive into his completely objective breakdown of his match, let's have a second opinion from Prabhu. As I say, our Big E, our analyst. How are you, looking in from the outside in, like thinking about how this card is shaping up for Amplify?
I think this is actually a very interesting card because there are a lot of matches that are quite unpredictable. Because the opponents, they might not have the same styles, but they stack up in ways that makes it very hard to predict an outcome.
Okay, well, let's go into the card proper. There's an NWE graduation match. Justin, which is making his debut,
Yes, he is.
together with Simon Sia versus Aussie. What can you tell us about Justin?
Right, so Justin, I've met him only once or twice. Quiet, soft-spoken guy,
Okay.
but very smooth in the ring.
Ah,
He picks the physical side up of wrestling just like that.
okay.
So he
Nice.
is someone that I think will make a great team with
Right.
Simon Sia, who also picks the physical side up of wrestling very well.
So what would you describe his style as?
He's a bit on the smaller side,
Okay.
which is not a disadvantage. He's quick, he's fast, he's technical.
Oh, so together with Simon Xia, their styles sort of
Look good
mesh
lah.
well together.
I think so.
Ah,
Very interesting.
Okay.
And of course, Aussie, we've talked about it as well. You know, they are gunning for the tag team titles.
Yeah.
That's happening soon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm so sorry to hear that. But, but like you know, it's also well documented that they do have some sort of dissension brewing.
Bro, toxic relationship.
Yes.
The fans have labeled it.
Yeah. So what do you think about all that? You know, as a shit steerer yourself.
I would just like to say that YC, Sean, I have prayed for this. And it has happened.
Oh, Drew McIntyre.
Because if
Fired, yes.
you know Showtime Inc. and the Aussies, we've got a lot of beef.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for these two to just finally fall apart.
Wait, hang on. I thought this was supposed to be an objective
No, this is the
review.
truth. This is the truth. Have you not seen their
Yeah,
disputes?
yeah,
between
yeah,
them?
yeah.
They got a lot of beef going on between them.
Yeah,
Obviously, they are the more experienced tag team and the more successful tag team.
Mm-hmm.
But if a certain someone's ego gets in the way and clouds his judgment,
Oh.
you know, even the best tag team in the world, if there's friction between them,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a rough ride.
Yeah. Oh, very, very interesting to see that.
Let's talk about the no respect singles match. Okay,
Yes.
it's been labeled no respect. I don't know what that entails, but clearly from the social media polls, from what we've heard, Jordan has shown zero respect for Joseph.
Right, so let me give you a different way of looking at this
Okay.
match. I would think of it as a very talented individual going up against an extremely hardworking individual.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out who is who. Wait, hang on.
Okay.
Talented, hardworking. So is Jordan the talented and Joseph the hardworking? Is that
Right, so let me take you back. The year was 2019.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Masa Takanashi held a training seminar
Yeah.
with us at Grapplemax.
Okay.
He saw Jordan, who had yet to make his debut. He said, "Singapore wrestling hope."
Oh, wow, that is
Wait,
quite
wait.
the label.
Tanahashi? Takanashi?
Masa Takanashi.
Just throw out random Japanese sounding words.
Takanashi.
Takanashi. No, sorry. Because when I think of that, I think of either Tanahashi or Takahashi.
Oh, okay.
Right, when you combine the names, I was like, oh, who is that? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he basically said that even then, before he was already
Right.
training, he had the look, he had the it factor.
And it was just the way he moved. You know, he had something about him
Yeah.
that made him stand out. On the other side, Joseph started training at 35.
Ah.
35 is when actually a lot of professional athletes quit and retire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has, I mean, I hate to say this about a guy who has been a thorn in the side of Showtime Inc.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the age of 35, he has not only maintained his level of fitness, but he has improved and gotten fitter, faster, stronger.
Nice.
He's found out the powers of his head when he shaved bald.
Shaving it helps.
Yeah.
He's become much more dangerous Joseph than he was just a few years ago.
Reverse Samson, as it were. If
Yeah.
anyone gets that reference.
No, yeah, the reverse Samson. So Jordan, he might be overlooking Joseph a bit too much because Jordan has been out of action for 8 months. Joseph has been in action for 8 months.
Yeah.
He's only gotten better. I think Jordan might be overlooking Joseph.
I'm curious to see what Jordan thinks of the match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, based on his social media, I don't know if he
Doesn't
thinks
think-
that
doesn't
much.
think much,
Yeah,
okay.
of Joseph, but we'll have to wait and see. No, I mean, ring rust is definitely a thing, right? You know,
Yeah.
8 months out, where is his head at? We talked about how, you know, he might be taking a little time off to refocus a bit.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, and also of course the tag team element as well, right? I mean, he's not coming in alone.
Absolutely. Joseph is not coming in alone. He's with his fellow uncle,
Ah.
his fellow ape,
Yeah.
the D. But the D is Malaysian.
Oh!
Jordan is Malaysian.
I
What
don't
if?
know.
Wait, what if?
But also like D is not that guy. He's not that type of guy. You know, no disrespect, but he's not like, you know, certain groups who
Just
will
stand-up
help
guy?
each
Stand-up
other.
guy?
Yeah, he's a
Right.
stand-up
You're
guy.
suggesting there's some type of uncle solidarity going on between the two.
Yeah, they have solidarity, but he won't like cheat or help him in that way. There's
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 an
an
honor.
honor
Yeah,
to it,
there's an
unlike
honor.
you know certain other groups.
Oh,
Who are?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
okay,
My lectures are straight.
Okay, so there you go. That's Jordan versus Joseph. Tiebreaker singles match. Okay, very interesting. Sarah versus Mingray.
Right, so Sarah and Mingray, two of our premier female athletes here in Grapplemax, they've gone up against each other a lot.
Yeah.
And this is a very interesting match because they do have somewhat similar styles. They both rely on their hard-hitting strikes and their power game. If you pushed me to give someone an edge, I would give it to Mingray personally.
Oh.
Because I have teamed with Mingray, and I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
the one area in which she stands out more than Sarah is her ability to find that opening to win the match.
Okay. The killer instinct.
The
lah.
killer instinct, the lion's killer instinct, as it were. I think Sarah, her teaming with Christian, it gained her a lot of popularity.
Sure.
But maybe it has made her just a bit too nice, a bit too naive. And Minghui has been sharpening her claws, you know.
Yeah, I mean that tiger,
lion.
the lion, right?
Lion.
Right.
Study your animals, man.
Oh,
Biology.
yeah. Damn, my animals. I need to go back watch Nat Geo again. Bro. Let's go. Okay.
Big Dave in action. That's
Yes.
all we know. And yeah, what does that even entail?
Yeah, what does that entail? Who knows? Some people, they seem to think that Big Dave is a public exhibitionist of some sort. I think that will make for an interesting post-match interview.
Yeah, for sure.
Post-show interview.
For sure, for
whatever.
sure.
Who knows, actually? Big
Yeah.
Dave has been in a foul mood for a while now. So, is he going to come out and cut a promo and bury the whole roster?
Yeah.
Is he going to come out and do interpretive dance?
I want to see
It
that.
can go either way.
I would
right?
love to see him start, like.
And you know what? He might do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Cut the promo, dance at the same time.
He can wrestle a broom and it'll be entertaining, I'm pretty
Sure.
sure.
You know, Dave could put on a 5-star match with a broom, but
Yeah.
yeah, so we have no idea what Dave might do, but he has been in a foul mood. And his whatever Dave does, it's not going to be pretty.
Okay. Let's talk about that main event. So you got Wonder Boy, you got Poppy, our friends from over at Malaysia Pro Wrestling,
Yep.
yeah, versus Hotshot and Divya.
Right, okay, so again, Hotshot, another opponent that not my favorite guy in the world, but I am an objective silverback. I must give him his props. He is a fantastic in-ring competitor.
Yes.
Him as a person, but in the ring, it's hard to find fault with him.
Okay.
He reminds me, his work just reminds me a lot of Bret Hart even.
Oh wow.
Very smooth, very quick.
That's a high compliment.
But I will give a lot of compliments to Wonder Boy as well.
Yeah.
First time I saw Wonder Boy, he was JY Eagle,
Yeah.
half the size that he is now.
Yes.
Wonder Boy looks like he ate JY Eagle.
Yeah.
He has added that power element to his
That's
game.
amazing, yeah.
And he's bringing with him a lot more experience, and he's bringing with him Poppy, one of the best female athletes in this entire Southeast Asian region.
Yeah. She's apparently the best female wrestler that you've never watched before. But
Yeah.
you're the biggest fan of them. Right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I would have to give slight edge to Divya.
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna ask me, I think the two men in this match,
yeah.
they are so good, but they are very equal. They almost cancel each other out. I think the deciding factor might go down to the women in this
Oh
match.
wow.
Very
okay.
interesting analysis right there.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. Of course, we've seen Divya perform live, and she's great. She's smooth. I think she's almost as if she's like the Joker in the Grapplemax card of decks. To me, deck of cards, because I feel like she's this unknown quantity at first. We heard so much about her, and then when she came in the ring, it's like, holy crap. You guys got this talent in your promotion, that changes the game for the women's wrestling.
You know, she has over 300 matches in her arsenal.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah. That's this upcoming weekend, of course, November. That's when the anniversary show happens as well.
Yeah.
And I do believe a little bit later on the show, we will talk more about it and get the scoop, as it were. We got some ice cream to serve up, so stick around
Yep.
with us. You're going to find out more. We've been told we're going to get some
Yeah,
kind of
we've
a
been
scoop
told. We've been
about
told.
the
We've been
anniversary show,
told.
where, when, and all that.
Yeah, but okay, of course, we love having you talking about local wrestling, but as the objective silverback that you are, I'm pretty sure you still have a lot of time on your hands. You're watching wrestling all around the world, including WWE and AEW.
Yes, of course.
Well, I would love to hear your thoughts on what's been happening recently.
Where do we start? So, okay, right now, let's talk about the biggest story in WWE is obviously the bloodline.
Yes.
And how they have, and every week, right, watching the product, it's such a joy to just see loose ends sort of being
Tied up.
Yeah.
brought back. And then just last Saturday for us, we saw Jey Uso show up on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And Jey had the interaction with Roman. Okay, how did you guys feel when you watched that segment?
I thought this was a really interesting turn of events for Jey Uso because with everything they've been through, the
Yeah.
emotional turmoil as well, right?
Yeah.
Does he want to get himself back into all this family drama?
Yeah.
Isn't his life more peaceful
Yeah,
without
without-
the bloodline?
Yeah.
It would be an interesting decision for Jey Uso.
And somebody on social media, I saw this line. I thought it perfectly encapsulates this whole thing, right? We are currently in the Bloodline season 4.
Yeah, we are.
And it's still as hot as it was in season 1. It's
Yeah.
even gotten even better, right? My favorite whole interaction from SmackDown this past week was Jey Uso steering shit with Jacob Fatu, bro.
Yes,
That whole
yes.
thing was like, oh, and then I love that line where he said like, why do you bring them in? Why do you bring Jacob? Remember, we didn't want him.
Yeah.
Like that kind of just alludes to what this danger that he
Yes.
has, right?
Like as if they already knew about Jacob before,
Yeah.
but they didn't want him a part of this.
Yeah, pretty
Which adds a lot to Jacob's mystique.
Yeah.
And how about Roman Reigns giving the respect to Jay, telling him, I'm proud of you, because Jay is now the Intercontinental Champion, right? And then it's like, one step in the road to mending fences. We all know the inevitability. They are going to have that moment where they hug it out and then, all right, let's team together, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But the road there, they are making it must-watch television without breaking their backs every single week, which is what is great about what they're doing right now.
And also he needs to earn that, that redemption back, right? Because I think Jay is perfectly in the right to no, screw you guys, I don't care about the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Roman and Jimmy humbling themselves down, that is the story. Are they gonna do it?
Did you see Jimmy try to shake his hand?
Yeah.
And then he didn't shake it, then Jimmy very awkwardly put it.
Which
He's
is
like, yo!
understandable. It's
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah, it is. I love those subtle things,
Yeah.
right? It's truly the cinema era, whatever you want to call it.
And do you guys like how Roman was saying oh man, if this was the wise man was here, this would be settled already?
Yeah.
Right.
So does that allude to Heyman potentially being part of
I
this?
think Heyman has to join the bloodline, right? Because he is
The
the
OG,
one,
the original one, okay.
Which
Because
bloodline?
Yeah.
The Roman's bloodline.
Okay. I'm just-
Because he is the wise man. He
Yep.
is that council that Roman Reigns. What is a tribal chief without his wise men?
So then what about The Rock? He shows up at the end of Bad Blood and then
No
nothing.
mention of him after that. Yeah.
So which side is he on? What did he just show up, raise eyebrow, and that's it?
There was also that rumor where apparently he might not be at WrestleMania, but of course he squashed that rumor.
Yeah.
But what is this like a play from them?
Well, let's look at it this way, right? There's 3 members. Let's call them the Rogue Bloodline. 3 members of the Rogue Bloodline. Well, it's 4 actually, and only 3 members of the original Bloodline.
Yeah.
If The Rock joins the Rogue Bloodline, that's 5. So how is the original Bloodline gonna survive this? On
Sami Zayn, bro.
Sami Zayn, and what was the one more?
Paul Heyman lah.
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman wrestles.
The wrestling
War
debut of Paul
Games.
Heyman.
In War Games.
I mean, it could be Cody Rhodes. They could bring
Yeah.
back another one of the many Fatus they have.
Right.
I think it'll be.
Zilla Fatu.
I think it'd be really cool for them to debut a new guy
Yeah.
as like a youth, like a youngster. Right?
Right.
But also at the same time, we brought up Cody Rhodes, right? He's not going to be part of this storyline anymore. I think he's better served doing his own thing. He is doing his own thing with Kevin
Yeah,
Owens and
to
Randy
me,
Orton.
I think he closed the chapter after he defeated the Bloodline at Bad Blood. Right?
Yeah.
And I think also The Rock, I think it's very intentional that he's not signaling a clear alliance.
Yeah.
Because The Rock, if you look at what's the most money that we can make from The Rock,
Yeah.
he has 2 big matches.
Yeah.
Him and Roman, him and Cody.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to not have him aligned so specifically yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if this, because we all know Rock is quite the, I hate to use the word politician, but he is lah. He's,
Let's be honest, right?
In that position, I guess you have to be to make yourself the most money and make yourself look the best, right?
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Well, is he biding his time and seeing where the wind blows, what the public sentiment is? Because the last time they committed to something, it completely turned on him.
Yeah.
I think so, and I think The Rock he wants to go out the way he was remembered.
Yeah.
And that is as a highly loved babyface.
Yes, yeah.
So I think he's kind of seeing where the wind blows. I think he wants to have a face run at the end of his
Yeah.
run.
But who would be his opponent then as a face Rock?
To me, the only way he can be a face, in my opinion, is he puts over someone, and then the crowd will give him his flowers after that. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Cody defeating The Rock emphatically
Yeah. At WrestleMania?
at WrestleMania and solidify. So he really go on his way out. He puts over
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes or maybe Roman Reigns. That can be an epic story.
I think him putting over Roman Reigns wouldn't go down quite as well because then people would say nepotism. Because they are related after all.
Okay, but-
you know what I mean? But
but-
Cody, yes, I see that.
Yeah, and I think Cody, yes, he will get, everyone will cheer him, but then as he leaves, and then The Rock's in the middle of the ring just sitting there, kind of reflecting on his career, I think the crowd will actually stand up and give him his flowers.
I think
Yeah.
John Cena had a similar moment at SummerSlam, I believe. A couple of
Oh,
years ago.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
And let's not forget, in 2025, the Netflix era, John Cena is doing his retirement tour.
Yes,
so
yes.
there's more stuff to look
Are
forward
we
to.
going to have it thrice in a lifetime, John Cena?
Walao, eh.
I don't
That
think the
would be
match is Which is gonna be
That'd be
what
wild.
it was hyped up to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It would be Rock versus Hogan. I think in terms of physicality, I don't know if those two can go quite as well anymore.
Well, let me ask you, right? Do you think at this point the way the crowd reacts to both Cena and The Rock,
Yeah,
The Rock is gonna be the default heel in a match against Cena?
for sure. Like
Yeah, it's a change.
it's very weird. Do you remember a time where everybody, the adults were always booing
On the
Cena?
Rock side,
yeah.
on the Rock side.
But I think maybe as you grow older, you realize like the Cena is truly that guy. He's true to himself. He has values. He's great. And The Rock has become
A bit of a corporate.
Yeah,
like, he's actually kind of become. Yeah, it's
It's
really
very
weird.
interesting, but I just want to quickly touch on Netflix for you guys, right? You know, how excited were you guys when you suddenly look at Netflix? Suddenly it's like Raw, SmackDown, NXT coming soon, all loaded up.
Yeah, I saw their stock actually went up like recently.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
Dude, first thing I was like, yes, I can save $9.99 a month, or is it $14.99?
Yeah. Remove WWE Network and then just keep your Netflix
So
account.
all the PLEs will be on the Netflix, right?
Yes, it will. It will.
Shock
It's
already.
bro, it's wild. Right, I think you might need to start to invest in TKO stocks before it gets even higher.
I know,
You know
right?
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, those stocks are probably super expensive. Okay, so on the Raw side,
Okay, so the thing is, the big story is like
Yeah.
Raw going to 2 hours. A lot of people are saying like, is it very rushed right now? Is it very hard to tell stories? What do you guys think about like Raw in its new format?
No, I think 2 hours is great. 3 hours is just too long. Do you
Just long.
remember? Because I grew up in the PG era, right?
Yeah.
Different guest hosts every week. 3
Wow.
hours of Raw.
Yeah.
The Muppets.
it's bad.
Hugh Jackman knocked out Zack. Like nonsense
I mean,
happened in 3 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
it's too
fill up
much,
the
too much nonsense.
Yeah, keep it short.
Yeah. What about the fact like to me my favorite storyline right now in over there is actually Gunther being an amazing heel promo, like being trolling everyone and doing
his
stuff.
dry wit.
Yeah, it's impressive because when you heard people talk about Walter on the indie scene, oh, you gotta check out this Walter guy, you gotta check out this Gunther guy, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever mentions his promo.
Yeah.
But now he's suddenly showing everyone like, oh, he can cut good promos, but still be himself.
Right.
Yeah.
You know who else on the indies never cut promos? Literally did his entire gimmick in a mask.
Sami Zayn?
Yeah, El Generico. So and now he's like one of the most beloved baby faces.
Right.
He's like one of those guys, right? Doesn't matter how many times he loses, people will still cheer for him.
And that's why I believe when people say, oh, if what brought me to the dance is my wrestling, I don't need to work on my promos. I don't think so. You need to always constantly work on your promos.
Speaking of which, okay, so there's a lot of interesting talk about Kevin Owens right now, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he's in the program, but thinking long term too, his contract is coming up. And so the rumor, the scuttlebutt is that, okay, AEW will probably drop big money on him. Do you think it's better for him to go to AEW and hang out and play with his friends, or stay in the WWE? And of course, if we talk about Kevin Owens, we can't not talk about Sami Zayn. They are like besties. They are
Correct.
package.
It's so interesting, but a lot of people are leaning towards that, thought process. Maybe he's on his way out going to AEW.
Yeah.
But I am of the belief, and maybe it's more of hope, but I think it will be so much better for the story if this run leads him to winning the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
And kind of upsetting Cody Rhodes and everyone. And I think that will make him the biggest heel going into 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I think it's very interesting because you said AEW might drop big money on him. No, AEW
Not might,
has
will.
dropped- They will.
They
They
will,
will.
yeah,
Everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not unthinkable, because
Yeah.
it could follow the same path that Christian and Edge took.
Yeah.
Christian goes, Edge follows.
Correct.
Owens goes, Zayn follows.
Yeah.
And they have friends in AEW, but I think Kevin Owens has always been a very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
He's calculated, and he knows that he's gonna have more of a career in the WWE because just to preserve his own body. He is, I think, a touch slower than he was maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And there was the whole storyline where, actually not a story, but there was rumors that he was actually going to sign with AEW around the time the Owen Hart tournament first started out.
Right.
But he actually re-signed, and that's why he got that spot at WrestleMania with Stone Cold. It's 2 years ago. So I'm just thinking like maybe it's like he's kind of dragging it out to see where he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible that we'll see Owens in AEW. Not now. It
Yeah.
might be his, okay, finish this next lucrative contract with the WWE. I've made my money, now I can have fun. And then he goes to AEW.
Could be a
that's his
fun,
thing.
could be a fun thing as well.
If AEW is still a thing in 5 years, I mean, okay.
No, because I can see in my mind
Yeah, yeah.
Owens retiring in a Ring of Honor.
True.
Yeah,
I
because
think
that's
he's
where
he's the type of guy that will want to
Sentimental.
guy.
So like a Bryan Danielson, like
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, I mean we're talking and alluding to AEW a lot. Do you want to kind of switch over?
well, before we switch over to AEW, and this kind of slides into the political realm of things, but I don't know if you guys saw, because the US elections are coming up soon, right? of all people, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The Undertaker and Kane, Mark Calloway and Glenn Jacobs,
Yeah.
interviewing Donald Trump.
Wait, is Donald Trump on his podcast?
Yes, he's going to
So
be
he's
a
on
guest.
6 Feet Under.
Yeah, on 6 Feet Under podcast.
That's wild.
3 WWE Hall of Famers.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Actually,
that's
That's a
right,
crazy
yeah.
thing to say. You know what's the funniest thing? You want to talk about it and like that's one big thing that I'm actually wanted to talk to you about. But another big thing was it just happened yesterday. Piers Morgan
Oh, yeah.
interviewing a panel of like wrestlers.
Yeah.
And then at the very last second he introduced like a swerve. He brought Phil Mushnick
Yeah.
into that. So
The guy, the journalist, for those who don't know, who tried to sue the WWE several times, right?
did a lot of expose
Yeah,
about like
yeah.
the ring boy controversy and all that kind of stuff. So in a weird way, even though those are two very wild things, but to me that's like shit. Wrestling is getting very
spotlight.
mainstream.
Yeah. I think most people now know Phil Mushnick because of the Mr. McMahon Netflix
Actually,
documentary.
Yeah, you're right. I've never heard of him before
Yeah.
this documentary.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I feel like as elections is coming in, and the Vince McMahon Netflix controversy just dropped, and then us leading into this new Netflix era,
Yep.
WWE is in the news for both good and bad reasons, but it's in the news. It's pop culture right
Yeah.
now.
And that's what you want. There's
Yeah.
no such thing as bad news, lah, as it were, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. Did you ever see Undertaker as a Trump supporter?
Actually, I do.
You do?
Yeah, because
I did.
I've
a
seen him wearing
Texan,
like, yeah, it's Texan.
Yeah,
He's,
he loves his guns.
loves his gun.
Freedom.
Oh,
he
right,
loves
right.
supporting the
Okay.
the U.S. Army.
Yeah, he's
No,
a-
actually, he's always gave me, bro. He's walked out to Kid Rock. Bro.
Oh, yeah. That's about as
he's an old white guy
Republican-
from the South.
Yeah,
You know, like, what a
as it
beyond.
gets.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, I don't know if you guys saw, right? It all makes sense. Blue Tista now makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Batista is he's supporting Kamala Harris.
Yeah. He did like a pro. I think it's a skit.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's with Jimmy Fallon or like Jimmy Kimmel.
One of the
Yeah,
Jimmys.
yeah, one of the
I think he
Jimmy
did
talk
a
show
little
hosts.
Jimmy,
Yeah, basically it's like a campaign video, right?
Yeah.
But it's him
A
boxing.
promo, actually.
Yeah.
Him boxing. He's talking shit about
Trump. And then now all of a sudden the Blue Tista era makes sense, huh?
Yeah. I love it, bro. I love it because I think, and you look at the comments, which is wild.
Yeah.
You will see people shitting on Batista, people loving Batista, and
Yeah.
on the other side, people is like, Undertaker, I used to love you. What the fuck?
Yeah, what happened to you? Why
you
you doing
say
this?
something about, I can't believe XYZ follows ABC.
Yeah.
My life
Yeah.
is ruined.
I don't know. I think it's wild because like when you see all the discussion, especially on Twitter, and I know for some reason Twitter is not that big in Singapore.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like Twitter is really wild in the US, right? And like
Bro, we're about that TikTok live, lah.
yeah, we're TikTok, we're
No
Instagram.
attention span.
Yeah.
We are kick to the guy.
Ain't nobody want to read a 240 character diatribe from some random.
Willing to hear a 2-hour podcast with Kick to the Gut.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's saying that. But I guess I wanted to wrap up by saying that like we have people like Elon Musk who's kind of like pushing narratives, right? And I'm so curious how they talk about the pro wrestling-fication of politics. I
Yeah.
think that's one big term that they brought up
Yeah.
in the documentary on Vince McMahon. And I feel like the thing that is in line between politics and wrestling is that there's that showmanship, there's that need to connect to your audience, knowing your fan base,
Yeah.
trying to win over a crowd, like
Yeah.
all those things. Actually, I think politicians need to go to wrestling school. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's, you know what it is? I wouldn't even, I think it's a cute way of describing it, but it is the carnization of
Yeah.
all this stuff. You know, like American culture, American entertainment has always been about big
Right.
personalities as opposed to like,
Bombastic, yeah.
just being out there. So to me, it's pro wrestling went that route because WWE is an American company
Right,
at the end of the day,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
a carny thing.
Yeah.
You can't, like,
It fits their target demographic, their audience.
Their
right?
audience,
Yeah, and if I have to bring it back to something that you mentioned earlier, right, about I think El Generico and Gunther, their promo skills. Yes, your wrestling might take you to the big leagues, but what will help you stay there is your connection with the crowd.
Yep.
And I think the politicians are learning that because regardless of what their policies are, right, nobody has time to read up all the policy. Well,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But what keeps you in the media spotlight is your connection with your fan base
Yeah.
and how much online traffic you can generate.
Correct. Attention is the currency
Yeah.
in 2024.
Is that the perfect segue then to AEW?
Oh god.
Because you talk about how wrestling can take you this level, but you know you need the connection with the audience, right?
See, that's the thing. Like, there's, you make it sound like AEW have an entire roster of amazing wrestlers who aren't doing stupid bullshit, but they just don't have the charisma, and that is not true. They're doing everything wrong. at this point.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear Prabhu's point of view because like, what's your thoughts on AEW right now?
Right, so this is actually a take that I had from a friend of mine.
Oh,
And he actually brought up an interesting point.
Okay,
He said
okay.
AEW, it seems like there's no logic to the way they do things. They're just
Yeah.
throwing things out of the wall.
yeah.
This is what WWE did in the early Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Because their back is against the wall. So just throw things out, see what works.
Yeah.
See what works. Yeah.
So it is, as a fan to watch it, not my favorite thing to watch. But I understand the rationale behind why they do it.
And also, who grew up in that era, watching the Attitude Era?
that's true, that's true.
The head worker, aka Tony Khan, he's a mark.
ECW guy, WCW guy.
Yeah.
He's been very honest about it and very open about it. Let's talk about AEW's biggest storyline right now, right? Because we're coming out of Wrestle Dream, the new world champion is Jon Moxley.
Did you even watch this week's Dynamite? By the way, I did not. I've given up already. Like,
I'm purely a social media viewer
Yeah.
of Dynamite, right?
Okay.
But yeah, your thoughts on Jon Moxley and this whole story that they're trying to tell?
I think they are high on Jon Moxley. They've always been high on Jon Moxley.
they are high on something.
They're high.
They are high on something. That's for damn sure.
that's right. Yeah.
And I can see the appeal. You know, Jon Moxley
Yeah.
he has name recognition. He's the guy that you would want to
He's
represent.
gotten jacked.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
big, he's
to be
big.
fair, yeah, he put on size. Yeah.
I don't exactly understand what direction Jon Moxley is going in.
Yeah. I don't think he understands it either, but
Yeah,
you know.
I think I feel Jon Moxley is getting a bit too smart for what his strengths are. You know, he's trying to come up with I think a very deep character.
Yeah.
But I think just this barroom brawler is really what suits him best.
Yeah, and how do you think of the whole treatment of Bryan Danielson? You know how he lost his title, supposedly going to retirement now.
I think it was too soon.
Yeah,
It
seems
was too soon. Yeah, Bryan Danielson could have had a couple more great matches. Bryan Danielson and Ospreay, have we seen that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But see, going back to what I said last week, right, I don't think this is it. They don't have the long game, right? They're like, okay, we let you retire now, but you come back in a year's time. Because
Nobody ever retires.
yeah,
from it.
exactly, right? So
yeah.
that is the long game for them, but they don't know how to craft that story out.
I see the news report as well talking about, you know, apparently Bryan Danielson had actually injured his
Multiple
neck
times.
even further.
Yeah.
And like, by some reason he's being cleared to wrestle in AEW. So
Well, that's why WWE didn't want him to hurt himself,
Yeah,
right? They were trying to save him from his worst tendencies.
Is that promo that the Miz cut? You know, why don't
Yeah.
you go back to the bingo halls with your indie friends?
Yeah?
He's been at I mean, I wouldn't say bingo halls, but he is.
Indie friends.
Got bingo hall vibes though with
well,
their
yes.
attendance.
yeah.
He's with his indie friends, and he's no one there to stop him from his worst tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, I want to talk about something positive about AEW. Though. To me, my favorite thing about AEW right now, Hurt Syndicate.
Okay.
Hurt
yes.
Syndicate.
Yes.
Because you know what's so funny? Because actually, I think, was it this week or last week's Dynamite where Shelton Benjamin had a match?
Yeah.
And I laughed my ass off. You know why?
Why?
He looks like a freaking big ass.
looks like Bobby Lashley.
He looks like Bobby
He
Lashley
looks like
in the
Bobby
roster.
Lashley.
Who did he fight?
Leo Rush.
Of course.
yeah.
So he destroyed Leo Rush.
Brutalize Leo
Yeah,
Rush.
but I think one thing that they've been doing is they are kind of like on a very subtle recruitment drive.
Okay.
Trying to recruit all the black wrestlers because after Leo Rush kena destroyed, they
Yeah.
gave him a name card.
Oh.
And then I think they previously walked past Mercedes Moné,
Yeah.
gave her a name card. And then I think Private Party after they kena embarrassed,
Name
they kena
card.
name card. So I do not know what's happening. Is that like a New World Order Black Edition happening there?
Nation.
Nation of Domination.
Well, I mean, remember we postulated that it could be a nation versus the white skin
White Pool Combat Club.
White Pool Combat Club.
Well,
Yeah.
You know, the Hurt Syndicate has always been an African American
Yeah.
group, but without overtly saying it.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and I think that's great because it's more representation.
Somebody gave another crazy analogy which I thought was hilarious. They compared MVP and Shelton Benjamin's appearance as like the Silver Surfer, heralding the arrival of the real Galactus.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my
Yeah.
big worry about Bobby Lashley because I know how AEW books. Bobby Lashley is going to come in, and within a few weeks, he's going to have 30-minute bangers with like hologram or some bullshit like that.
Are you excited to see Bobby Lashley sell a Canadian destroyer?
No, I
Can you imagine?
if somebody tries to do that and jump on him, he should just grab them and throw him over the top rope.
No,
that's what needs to happen.
So that's what I want to happen.
Yeah.
I really hope I
He's
don't know.
better no sell all this bullshit.
Yeah, like I want like the young bucks to jump and try to do a Meltzer driver, TK driver, and then like Bobby Lashley just stands there.
They're like, what are you doing? Then he just swats them away like Galactus would to
Right.
like fighter jet. Swipe it away, swipe
Well, that's
it
the
away.
thing, right? AEW has a lot of veterans
Yeah.
that know how to get over best for themselves. But will the rest of the roster cooperate? Because in Lashley, right, they really have a lot of money in Lashley.
Yes.
Yeah, Lashley can be their big bad.
He's a
They're Brock.
he's an NCAA, he's a Bellator fighter,
Yeah, he's legit.
former WWE World Heavyweight
Yeah.
Champion, and he looks like a world destroyer.
And now he has MVP to be
Right.
his mouthpiece.
And
But
yeah,
where are they going to go with this? Have they lined up people for him to smack?
I don't have
to,
faith.
to me, Lashley is the big draw, right? But don't sleep on Shelton Benjamin. I think Shelton Benjamin in this current iteration with his size and
Yep.
he's legit, right? Proper amateur wrestler. He can teach a thing or two in terms of how to
absolutely, yeah.
destroy the AEW
yeah.
roster, right?
I just hope that the current roster there will listen to them. Maybe they will be smarter at playing the locker room game than CM Punk was.
Maybe.
CM Punk notoriously is like, okay, you don't listen to me, like you don't know what you're doing lah.
Do you hear also there was this rumor? Remember MVP apparently got beef with Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
So apparently for MVP to go into AEW, I think they actually had like a one-on-one like catch up and they actually squashed that beef.
Okay.
Because Chris Jericho know he doesn't want none from MVP.
MVP is a martial arts background.
Yeah, MVP is also like a
Jiu-Jitsu guy, right?
Yeah, and
previous-
Jericho is a vodka guy.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
previous ex-convict as well. So he actually legit street
is it?
fighter. Yeah, he was in prison as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Very interesting his story if you learn about him. But what I'm trying to say is I think having that next level of professionalism.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is all these previous guys who went into AEW are generally nice guys. Like you're talking about like people like Edge or Adam Copeland, Bryan Danielson. People respect them, but they wouldn't impose themselves. I think the last person that really
Too nice
imposed
for their own
CM.
good, you mean?
was CM Punk. The last person who like really like, hey guys, come here. Okay, let's make this thing more professional setup. It was CM Punk. I would even argue Chris Jericho didn't do that.
No.
Chris Jericho was a political game, tried to just stay close to the boss.
Yeah.
But I think somebody like MVP, Shelton, and Lashley will be like, okay, this is the big boys.
Yeah.
Come, you all better level up to us.
Do you think that they will? So what you're saying is they will have a more controlling impact over the AEW locker room than CM Punk, because CM Punk is one guy, whereas this is three like legit guys.
I think people in the locker room will be very intimidated by them.
Okay.
And rightly so.
But-
and wouldn't want to stir shit.
But then, I mean, then you have the Young Bucks going to the and the Whisper
Lashley,
campaign.
you're gonna take the Meltzer driver.
Yeah. and yeah.
But do you think MVP will let it? I think MVP will call them out on their bullshit even worse than CM Punk.
Okay, so maybe, if anything, that is what we look forward to in the next couple of
Well, I
months.
think we have to take into consideration the fact that the entire Hurt Syndicate, right? They are not poor.
Okay,
They got money in the bank.
Sure,
they
sure.
can retire.
Yeah.
So they have no incentive to like job.
I
I
would hate for this to become suddenly you got the MVP universe here, you got the Young
Oh,
Bucks
the
and their
Codeverse.
universe, the Codeverse. So
Codeverse, yeah.
it's happened so many times. The AEW CM Punk has his own little universe over there.
I hope that's not the case as well. But I also feel like best case scenario, like I'm trying to be optimistic here, this can be the Hurt business run that we really wanted in WWE.
right,
which
right.
Yeah.
They didn't have a
It could
chance
be
to do
big.
so.
It could be big money.
It could be.
And that happened during the pandemic, by the way.
Yeah.
So imagine with the crowds, with them. And I honestly, I don't mind Lashley being the big bad.
Yeah.
Line him out against somebody like Will Ospreay. Even Darby Allin with his nonsense, right? I think will look like a great like Jeff Hardy, babyface against somebody like Lashley.
Bro, imagine once Darby and Mox, obviously they are headed for each other, right?
right.
Once Darby gets the title, and then Darby versus Bobby, and then you have Shelton going after like the international, you have whoever like Leo Rush or one of the other guys go after the continental, and then they just take all the titles.
What are your thoughts on
Yeah.
Swerve joining the Hurt Syndicate?
Honestly, I would rather that happen.
Yeah.
I don't mind Swerve joining, but eventually becoming the babyface to take them down.
Yeah.
So he's like the Jey Uso situation. He comes in, he falls in line with Bobby Lashley, and you know where I think it would be the best time to introduce Bobby Lashley or have him win the title? World's End. Because it's really like Avengers Endgame there.
Thanos shows up.
He shows up at
He's
the end of
Thanos,
the year,
yeah.
destroys the last image of 2025 with him holding out the title. I think that would be pretty crazy.
But how would you set up a scenario where he just shows up for a pay-per-view and gets a title shot? Well, then again, it's Tony Khan, anything can happen.
I mean, Darby Allin randomly just call up Brody King and they had a match.
Yeah, exactly
Okay,
right.
I would say Darby Allin and Moxley as the the title match at Full Gear would be great. It would be a great payoff if the plan is to make Mox a transitional champion. I do not know.
Will Mox go with it?
I
Yeah.
feel like the thing is, okay, if Mox were to go with it, and they still want to continue that storyline of like who are they reporting towards, I do hope that Shane McMahon payoff is happening. I do not know. But if that's not the case, maybe Moxley still continues.
I have never ever not wanted Shane McMahon to show up so badly. Like legit, you know, like
Yeah.
a part of me is like, why? He doesn't need the money.
No, he doesn't.
It's an ego thing. If it's a prove my dad wrong thing,
Yeah, I
maybe.
think, I
but
think it really is though. But when I watch the Netflix documentary, I really feel the
Yeah.
hurt that he felt in how he's being treated. He's technically on the outside looking into
Yeah.
WWE. He might want a chance to prove himself. He can run a wrestling company, and AEW is the way to go for
Maybe
him.
him and can you imagine Shane McMahon meets Darby Allin and
Oh.
they let their worst instincts take over?
Oh, and Tony Khan, because
Yeah.
everybody friend. Because Shane McMahon has always been described as the nice guy as
Yeah.
well, too nice for his own good.
And Shane McMahon, the guy that will jump off anything.
Yeah.
So
Oh, shit,
him
man.
and Darby Allin is going to be the first match that ever starts on the ladder.
And then Tony Khan is like signing out. Yes, go do anything you want. You do.
You wanna know a crazy comparison between Shane and TK?
What?
So I heard that the company, the holding company that owns AEW, the father doesn't own that holding company. He actually put that holding company under the name of him,
Tony and sister,
and
right?
his sister,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So apparently, a lot of people are saying that actually TK and the sister, their relationship is like Shane and Stephanie, where the father actually favors the sister a lot, and Tony is like, look at me, I want to run this company. Like he's trying to prove himself.
So when is this sister going to come on as a authority figure?
The
Oh my-
Shahid can't come out really.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it should be the sister. That'd be quite funny.
Wow, cannot.
So then we need a storyline where one of the AEW wrestlers gets married to his sister actually.
Yes. Which I remember what they said.
And that's how we can bring in Bobby Lashley.
Remember?
Oh my God, Bobby is the.
Remember CM Punk's promo?
Yeah.
The only way you can get over in his company is if
Marry
you marry the
the
daughter,
boss's
which is
daughter.
he said to MJF.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying there's a lot of things that is very interesting in the background.
Yeah.
If they manage to bring it to the forefront on television, we might actually come back to watch the show.
Yeah, but you see, going back to this whole thing of they always cater to like the very indie, very in the know fans, and that's why their viewership is so low because they hyper focus on that demographic. Most people, most average audience will not know this stuff, and if you don't explain any of this backstory, then you are not going to catch the numbers, right?
Agreed.
And that is the game at the end of the day. Like we talked about it last week. Him getting a renewal is actually a very bad thing for him because now he's like, oh, see, what I've been doing works. And so in the next few years, is he going to, like, what is going to make him suddenly change his mind?
Agreed.
Now that he has the money, I don't think he's going to bother changing. He's like, hey, it works, what?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, in terms of the silver lining for you, Silverback, who do you think or who would you put your money on to be the wrestler or to be the story that kind of takes AEW out of this current slump?
Ooh, I think it has to be the Hurt Syndicate, Hurt
Yeah.
Business, and another one of their own homegrown talents that they've really gotten over with the fans is Swerve. So I think
Yeah.
Swerve, and like you said, the Hurt Syndicate, going around recruiting black wrestlers.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Grapplemax called Julian, give him a call. But Swerve needs a tag partner, you know. But yeah, I think them recruiting all the black wrestlers, even Mercedes Moné, and
I don't mind that, yeah.
here's a thought: what if Shelton became the world champion?
I don't mind that as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
I think he's well deserved.
yeah.
Yeah, he could have a run. Shelton and Moxley, and Shelton can work well with a lot of their
Yeah.
talents.
Yeah. He's
Shelton
athletic.
can do the athletic stuff,
Yeah.
but he's a grounded wrestler, amateur wrestler. So I think he's the best.
Shelton and
kind.
Osprey.
Shelton and Osprey
Think
would
about
be
that, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Would be crazy. Do you find it hilarious that like Shelton looks normal size in WWE among that roster?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
jacked.
He looks like a monster there.
And there was a time where Shelton was like, oh, cruiserweight looking
Yeah.
guy in WWE.
Yeah.
him and Charlie Haas that era, right?
And then it's not that he got bigger, the roster around him shrank.
Because shrink, yeah.
The roster shrank.
Law of averages. But yeah, so I think now that AEW is going out of Wrestle Dream, going into Full Gear, let's just kind of pivot back to WWE to kind of like wrap things up. Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel is happening in a couple of weeks. They debuted that very oversized XXL title belt.
Yeah.
Gaudy. I mean, very
Yeah, it's just
blinged up.
just crazy. It's like, it fits well with the Saudi Arabians, right? But what do you think of this whole thing that they're trying to do now, where it's like champion versus champion, Cody and Gunther? Will it take away if one of the champions lose? And who do you think should win that match?
It's a very difficult. This is I think, a situation where I really feel sympathy for the writers because
No, don't feel that much sympathy. They're probably getting paid a
That's true,
shit
that's
ton
true,
of
that's
money.
true. More than us, more
Bro,
than us,
$50 million. Yeah, you do
That's
whatever.
true.
All our
That
champions
is true,
fight each
that
other.
is
Don't care.
But the thing is, right, like, they probably have this era of WWE.
Yeah.
Levex WWE has a lot of long-term plans.
Yeah.
But somewhere along those long-term plans, we need to accommodate the Saudis to
Yeah.
get our paycheck.
Yeah.
So I think this match actually does throw a wrench in whatever they have planned long term. So how can they turn that to their advantage?
Yeah, I see it as an opportunity. I
Yeah,
feel like, okay, if I'm a long-term guy, now I got this Saudi thing, roadblock. How can I still tell the stories that I want to tell, but with this roadblock?
Yeah.
Right, because I think the one thing that they cannot do is have it end in a small finish.
Oh,
DQ,
yeah, no.
or jungle lower attacks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you talk about Cody versus Gunther, right? I mean, not say it's obvious, but have Kevin Owens cost Cody, like, you know,
Yeah, but I think
Cody doesn't need the win.
Yeah.
He's already the guy already, and you need to establish Gunther even
Yeah,
more, I
yeah.
feel.
And a lot of people keep thinking like, oh, they can't lose because they can lose their aura, right? But people are forgetting both wrestlers have lost this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Cody actually, okay, I know a lot of people suddenly have forgotten about Money in the Bank, but actually the new bloodline beat Cody and his
Yes.
gang, KO and Randy Orton,
yeah.
and Solo pinned him.
Yeah.
So even though he was the champion, Solo got that win. That's what led Solo to challenging Cody for the SummerSlam main event. So I do not see an issue with Cody losing.
Yeah.
Cody will put over Gunther.
I have to agree with you, and I think if anything, losing actually helps Cody because his character is one that can afford to lose, can gain sympathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if Cody goes on, like, I mean, it's what Dusty Rhodes always would do. Dusty Rhodes would always lose the belt just before the big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
get it back.
Yeah,
At,
and
yeah.
Cody is a sympathetic guy.
Yeah.
Gunther, sure.
No, Gunther has to be dominant.
Yeah,
has to be that.
yeah.
Yeah.
If Cody loses, right, and then he will come into Survivor Series weakened with like a bit of loss of credibility, right? I think that's a perfect time to kind of like have, you know, like the whole KO taking advantage of him,
Yeah.
you know, Randy Orton. I think it'll be interesting. And of course, they already announced on SmackDown Randy versus KO is happening at Crown Jewel as
Yeah.
well. I'm very curious to see how that leads into the main event. Yeah.
What do you think about Randy Orton turning on Cody?
I think if they tell it right,
Yep.
that can be Cody's main event at WrestleMania. It can be that night, his night one. If they tell it right. When I say tell it right, means they really need to reference their legacy,
Yep.
their history as a team, mentor, student. Like, they have to tell that whole story really, really well. And they need to make Randy that 2009 badass.
The
you know.
punt kick guy
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Bring it back.
Do you know what they might do to build Randy Orton up again as a vicious heel?
What?
Oh, John Cena has a retirement tour.
Oh.
But if you cut that on the feed early on in the year to
Yeah.
lead into WrestleMania, then like you lose a lot of Cena's
Yeah.
potential. What do you
I
think?
mean, it could be Cena Orton before WrestleMania. And then because Orton beats Cena, Orton goes over to face Cody at Mania.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
it can be a Cena versus Orton winner challenges for the world title.
Yeah, could
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Because Cena did say that he
Randy
wants
is
to.
how many? 415, is it?
Because
14.
no, Cena. Okay, so Cena said right that he will be his last time in the Royal Rumble match, last time in Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So maybe he will do all those like road to WrestleMania storyline. He
Yeah.
will try to be at the final four. That could be a very interesting way of like him versus Randy. I think I see that. I see that. But my question is like, what was your question on how old is it?
Was it how many world titles does Cena have? Are
Oh.
they both in competition with Ric Flair?
Yeah. So Cena is 16. Randy is below Triple H, I think. At 13 or something.
So Randy's not there yet.
Yeah.
He's not in that contention.
He needs a
lah.
few more to get there.
Do you think Cena should eclipse Ric Flair?
I think if they are smart, they should.
Yeah.
Just for the PR of it.
Yeah.
Like if you want to tag the most world title wins is like Ric Flair and his current
a
reputation.
bit sus. And John Cena has always been the company guy.
Ric
so-
Flair will go ballistic
Yeah.
on social media.
But what's he gonna do though?
No, but Rick,
Yeah.
have you heard that Ric Flair claims that he's actually won more than 17?
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, he said like
small
20 something.
shows, that kind of
like
thing.
one night.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, these numbers are just, you know,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
lah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to give it to Cena. I mean, he can be a transitional champion, right? He can be that guy that
for sure.
dethrones whoever.
For sure. So yeah, so I think in this November, there's a lot of fun and interesting things happening in the wrestling world. WWE, AEW here as well locally.
Yeah,
Grapplemax,
yeah.
SPW as well. well. So so let's talk about Amplify and put it over to our next guest.
So we call this a Jordan sandwich. I know a lot of fans are going, ooh, Jordan sandwich, I like. But here, of course, we are live at the Grapplemax Pro Wrestling Studio, as you can see, and we are with none other than Jordan.
Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome to the show again, of course. When was the last time we had you on the show? Huh?
My goodness, it's been a while, like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been 2 years.
I remember that whole era. It was a bit of a, remember we were trying to call you, make you like an oppa.
Yeah.
I feel like you're trying to push a label onto me, and I don't appreciate that, but thank you for, not continuing on with that label.
No, but I feel like because you have evolved beyond that.
yes, yes.
Since the last time you were on the show, your character has completely done a 180.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and of course the fact that now you're back after a long hiatus, like
Yeah.
like first of all, like, how are you feeling, like physically, emotionally, mentally?
It's been 2 years, and like for some people, like for me, for example, I age gracefully. I'm not gonna talk about the other person. But yes, for some people, we do age gracefully, and I think in those 2 years, I have evolved quite a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty good.
I will assume that the person you not so subtly referred to is an opponent that is coming up very soon. A certain fellow by the name of Joses, who, yes, he's part of that whole with D. He's got the whole gimmick. Not that. What
His-
midlife crisis? No, wait, hang on. That's not the right name.
No, no, no.
don't-
I would call it midlife crisis if I was, their manager.
Right.
That's what I would call them.
Oh.
But they decide to go with another route.
Yep.
Mid goals.
Midlife
Midlife
goals.
goals.
Goals, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like I
Mm.
prefer midlife crisis. But
Basket.
okay, but I think a lot of the fans are curious to know, like,
Mm.
where have you been? Because the last time we saw you, you were openweight champion. right?
Open weight champion. Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to be openweight champion.
Oh.
But just to correct you, that my championship was the WrestleSquare
Yes, sorry.
Cruiserweight Championship.
WrestleSquare
yes.
Cruiserweight Champion,
Correct.
and
You had that match with Dick Togo,
Which
was-
I beat him 1-on-1.
Yes,
I just like to
yes.
clarify.
Yes,
Sure.
that's amazing,
Yes.
by the way.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Beat a Japanese legend, by
Yeah.
the way.
yeah.
How have you recovered from that? Is that why it took you this long to come back? Because, dude, some of the stuff that he was throwing at you,
Oh dear God.
bro, I felt it.
Look, there are some moves that physically it looks like it's very damaging,
Mhm.
and it does, but spiritually
Oh.
it does something to you.
Okay.
Yeah, like a legend like Dick Togo, he doesn't just punch you, he just punches straight.
He
I
punches you in the soul.
Yes, exactly.
Ah.
And it affected me quite a lot,
Okay.
But you know what? I still ended up beating him 1-on-1.
Mhm,
I still ended up being champion. I still went on to defend my championship.
So you needed to do like a eat, pray, love after that lah.
Eat,
Like,
pray, love.
like
Eat,
8
pray.
months of like going to Bali, rehab the
Go.
soul. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, these kinds of things you have to take sort of a break, right? I didn't take a break. I am a fighting champion. I still am, even though I'm not champion anymore.
Okay.
But I'm still always fighting. Right after that Dick Togo match, I went on to Bangkok actually. I
Oh.
went on to wrestle for a setup.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had a I believe it was collaboration between WrestleSquare and some other promotions as well. So I was also invited to defend my WrestleSquare Cruiserweight Championship against 3 other people. Yeah, 2 wrestlers from WrestleSquare, and also Dennis was also part of that match as well.
Awesome.
Crypto bro.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
A fatal 4-way. A fatal 4-way.
Nice. Was that officially like your last match before you went on hiatus?
It was my second last match.
Oh.
So after that match in which I unfortunately dropped my title, I went on to wrestle for another open house show for Grapplemax, and that's when I had to take a break.
Yeah, because I remember, I think before you went on your break, you were kind of teasing some sort of rivalry with Ban. If you guys recall, you and Ban Sacha, but clearly the tables have turned because that nice, happy-go-lucky Ban doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. Honestly, like, I mean, I'm still aware of like, what's going on with the general like feeling in Grapplemax.
Yeah.
But I haven't been following it up that much. So I think Bun right now is bad right now, apparently.
Bad Bun? He's
Broken
been
Bun?
taking
Broken Bat.
broken
Broken
bat. Yeah,
Bat?
broken bat. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
taking
Broken
some
Bat.
lessons from Dave. Dave can be quite the influence.
Yeah.
So looking at his demeanor now, do you sort of go, actually now I respect him a little bit more? Because you've taken a little bit of that, I don't want to say trip to the dark side, but you've sort of shown a more ruthless side of yourself as well. So looking at Ban, do you see like, hey, this guy finally stepping it up?
You know, I'm glad that he's finally reaching to a realization that
Mhm.
I came across a long, long time ago.
Mhm.
It took him a while, but I'm glad to see that he's finally getting a bit more ruthless,
Mhm.
finally getting the right lessons
Right.
implanted into his brain. So he's finally catching up. I would say he's still very far away from where I am right now.
Of course.
But he's taking the right steps.
Do you think who has the better friendship mending journey, like you guys or like I don't know, like Roxanne Perez and Korajit? Which one?
I wouldn't go
We're not
that
there
far.
yet.
I
We're not
wouldn't say
there
there's a
yet.
friendship brewing right now.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I'm starting to give him a little bit more respect.
Okay, okay.
Just a little bit, you know?
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay.
Question for you, right? Like in the time you've been away, and we are looking at maybe 8 months. I think probably February was when you took a break, right? In that time, the landscape of Grapplemax has changed so much. We've
So
seen dual destinies where a tag team championship tournament has started out.
Yeah.
We've seen like all these stars that has come through. What was your biggest FOMO moment while you were out that you saw?
Oh,
Grapplemax
there was
did?
so much. There was so much. I mean, within the wrestling industry, 8 months is such a long
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Champions come and go. I mean, even outside of the Southeast Asian wrestling sphere,
Yeah.
a lot has happened in North America, in Japan,
Yeah.
those kinds of things.
Agreed.
Yeah. So for Grapplemax specifically, I try to live life without regrets.
Yeah.
But I think I would have loved to. I don't know if I would have found anyone, but I would have loved to also participate for the tag team titles as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So talk to us about those 8 months. Like what happened? Like I see you've sort of I don't know how, but he's gotten more, more oppa, even though that's not what he's going for. But you've gotten, bulked up a little bit
Thank
on
you,
that
thank
Randy
you.
Orton vibe, right?
I've been eating.
Okay.
As he has said, I have been eating.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So during those 8 months, it was really all about a journey of recovery. Quite honestly, like I was working hurt.
Oh,
Yeah, for the
right.
past few months while holding the title. It's a very strenuous sport, right?
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing where you can't even take a break, even if you want to, because as a champion, you always have to fight. If you're a self-respecting champion, you always want to fight through the pain. So after I lost the belt, I realized that if I want to be an even better champion, if I want to be an even better version of myself, I have to realize that I got to take that break.
Okay.
And I think a lot of wrestlers don't realize that. They just keep going until the wheels fall off, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. I'm a bit smarter than that. Study a bit of sports science.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to realize that the human body can only take so much.
So without giving away too much, right? Like in those 8 months, what are the new skills that you've picked up, or what have you been working on?
So it's more about just getting my body, the joints and everything just more strengthened up. So like still going to the gym, still improving myself in that regard, but I'm also picking up a few more gymnastic specific things like roundhouse, maybe a bit of springboard action, those kinds of things. I don't want to give off too much
Yeah.
of my arsenal right now,
Sure.
but it's always a journey of self-improvement. I'm always looking for new skills to kick my bloody opponent's head off, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's always about that.
One thing I love about your wrestling style is you work really stiff. I mean, with all due respect, like your knee strikes, they really make me like squeal, internally and
I
like.
hope so, yeah. I
Yeah,
hope so.
and like do you miss that kind of, I would say, violence? In the 8 months, like delivering all these kind of strikes to people, getting that wrestling bug again.
I wouldn't say I'm a very necessarily bloodthirsty person, right?
Okay.
It's just happened to be like my strikes are vicious, my strikes are always solid. It's because I know what I'm doing in the ring. I truly am the best striker in all of Southeast Asia. And anyone that wants to challenge me on that, feel free to. I'm not expecting anyone to be able to match up to my striking prowess, but that's who I am.
That's the headline.
That's just how I am. Yeah.
Right. I mean, not to bring it back to Togo-san again, but did you take away anything from that particular encounter with him? Because we talked about his strikes during those during that
I
match.
still remember
right?
it, yeah.
Yeah, you still feel it. So now, is it a thing of all right? I've taken it. Now I want to inflict it on my opponents.
You know, it's like what I said earlier, right? It's not just the physical damage that inflicted onto me. It's also that
The mental,
that spiritual. You know, that whenever he strikes, you really do feel it in your soul, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing that when we lock up, he kicked the I kicked at his hand and he just threw me out of the ring. The first thing he freaking did was pick up a chair and try to take my hit along with it, right?
Yeah.
I remember
So it was like, you know, that kind of realization. I just realized, like, hey, maybe I should be a bit more vicious, you know? Maybe I should be, you know, just as rough as Dick Togo was with me.
So a more vicious Jordan, a more athletic Jordan.
for sure.
It's gonna be exciting, man.
Okay, so now the fact that you know you
Yep.
really have that victory over Dick Togo, Japanese legend, under your belt, right?
Exactly, 1-on-1.
Yeah. I mean, that means your next opponent should be like a piece of cake, right? Technically.
You know, when I came back after 8 months, I was expecting just a little bit more respect.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Uh-huh.
I thought I was gonna be booked, you know, to face off like, you know, Big Dave. I can handle Big Dave, right? Or maybe even like Hot Shot, maybe a straight on, you know,
Yeah,
championship
championship match.
opportunity,
Yeah.
you know, for the openweight championship.
Mhm.
I thought that would be in the cards for me.
Okay.
Apparently not. When I got, you know, word of who I'm facing,
Yeah.
I get Joseph.
Okay, to be fair, you were away for 8 months. Right? And like you said, a lot can happen in the industry in 8 months. You know, it's a what have you done for me lately sort of business. So do you see this as like, all right, so you didn't see me up lah, as it were, enough to put me in a more high profile match. I'm going to prove it by just dispatching of Joseph. Is that your mentality going into this?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I gotta give some props to Joseph. You know, he's like what, in his mid 40s,
Yep.
in his 40s, and he still wrestles like he could be a few decades earlier than that.
Sure.
You know, I see some talent. I honestly do. But Joseph, really? That's my first opponent. Coming back. I feel honestly a bit disrespected. You know, we are always told to show respect to our elders, especially here in Singapore.
Yeah.
But I do not have respect whatsoever for Joseph.
Is it why this match is called a no respect singles match?
I think I'm the one that gave inspiration to that, you know.
Okay.
Like no respect to him, and I think they ran along with that.
Okay. What are the implications of a no respect match?
To be quite honest with you, I don't know the full details.
Okay,
You know, I haven't received like what is this match gonna be. I know it's gonna be a singles match.
Yeah.
That's what I'm aware about. As for, you know, whether there's no DQ, like a no DQ match, I'm okay with that. Like I'm no stranger to picking up weapons and whacking it across an old guy's back.
Yeah.
Or you know, maybe I'll take a page out of Dick Togo. Like just
Yeah.
also grab a chair and just whack his face along with it. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I pick up a few things from Dick Togo. You know, that's an elderly that I would say that I have
wow.
some respect for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But Joseph,
Yeah.
I mean, but okay, so he's famous for his head, right?
he's famous for his big old shiny head.
Dome, the flying dome shot.
Yeah, just hit butts, use your head, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Is that something you are wary of, or are you just rolling your eyes at? It's like he's not going to hit you with it.
Look, that's just a big shiny target for my foot, okay? I'm not sure if Joseph is even aware of that, alright? He can put all kinds of, you know, whatever, I would say hair products, but he doesn't even have any of that. Right? It's just a big old shiny target for my foot to just whack.
Does he have like a wax to shine?
I'm pretty sure
Probably,
I'm pretty sure he
probably.
uses Papatui, you know, like the rock and all, all the ball people use there.
And
apparently.
the
What
way
even is
expensive
that?
Yeah.
What even is that?
No, it's the rock skincare.
The rock skin.
He
Yeah.
he debuted a line of skincare.
Oh yeah, he does
Yeah.
have like some kind of beauty products right now, right?
Papatui. And then people were making fun, like, why the rock releasing shampoo product?
Yeah.
What's the irony there?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Joseph, you know, if like I would send it to you, like as just a bit of an apology gift. You know, maybe for Christmas. Christmas is coming up. Yeah, that could be something.
For context, right? For those just watching or tuning in, right? Right now we are on the road to Amplify. It's happening this weekend. So when this podcast comes out, it's happening this Saturday, 26th October.
26th of October. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you know, for those who are unaware, I think Amplify is like a long running series. Like it's considered like your road to shows to all the bigger shows, right? And like you know, we I don't want to gloss over Amplify, but like, is there a timing to why you return during this period? Because just ahead on the horizon is the anniversary show for Grapplemax.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, there's always like a rhyme and reason as to why I always do things, right? So I saw that, you know, anniversary is always a special time. Yeah, and like, you know, that's where I had my debut. So I'm not sure if you're aware. That's I can't believe I don't remember exactly what the show is called, but it was the 2019 anniversary show. That's where I had my debut for Grapplemax.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And you know, anniversary shows always hold a special place in my heart. And it's also where I faced Dick Togo. So yeah, I mean, like I don't want to miss this one. So that's why I worked hard to come back for this show. And I think that Amplify is a good place for me to ramp up, you know, onwards towards the anniversary show.
Very cool. Of course, like 2024, you started off as champion. You know, you just came off that big victory over Dick Togo, and with the time away, right, during this period, how do you want to wrap up your 2024? Like, what kind of things that you want to like get back from the time lost?
I mean, it's already October, right? So that's not much time to do things. But you know, after this roadblock of Joseph, you know, after getting rid of him, I'm hoping that anniversary they'll be moving on to bigger and better things in 2025. That's what I'm planning for.
Do you have an idea what's waiting for you at the anniversary show, or is it a matter of just focus on Joseph now?
I mean, honestly, do I even need to focus on Joseph?
So are you
Wow. Okay.
like looking past
Like,
him already at this point?
This is already a done deal.
Okay,
Right? I mean, like, there's honestly, like, what's there to focus about Joseph? I've already, like, I don't need to watch his matches. I already know what he's capable of. His big old shiny hit, right? Right? It's just
so
like
you think
Okada's
he's a one trick pony, is what you're saying.
Exactly. It's just like Okada's clothesline. Just dodge the freaking hit button. That's all I need to do. Right? Just duck the hit button. That's all I need to do.
What about Joseph and the fact that he does have a tag team partner in his corner? Do you see that potentially becoming a threat or a distraction?
I mean, I'm not used to, you know, facing 2-on-1, 3-on-1, that kind of action. So if Joseph, he believes he needs some help in his corner, that's on him. I would say that I would lose even more respect than I already have. If he wants to bring his friend just to watch his back.
Yeah.
This is D, right?
It's I mean, Joseph and D, they aren't those guys though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
They're pretty cool like that, but
Okay.
I would say they're like, you know, again, some form of respect to them. You know, they're in like their twilight ages. Right.
Sure.
And they're still wrestling, you know.
I would say sitting right beside you.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not a wrestler.
You guys know your lane. You guys know your lane.
We know your lane. Yeah.
But-
One match and done, right?
one and done, alright. But they still like. I don't know if they realize that this is a young man's game.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that Joseph would realize that after a match.
Awesome. I want to switch a bit of gears.
sure. Before we go
Yes,
there though, I
yes.
just like okay. So I see this whole thing where like you're like, all right, you know, all guys need to step aside for the young blood, right? Knowing full well that there are several veterans in Grapplemax too that you have yet to bump up against that have been there for a long time. You know, I don't want to throw out names, but like Dave, like Greg, Dennis, are those guys in the crosshairs for you? Talking about guys who are, you know, the trailblazers here at Grapplemax.
Look, it's like I always say, it's not about who I'm facing. It's about what I'm facing for. And right now, it's like it's always that open with doubt that's in everyone's mind.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's like the big goal in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
That's the goal to always strive for.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if Greg is in my way, if Big Dave is in my way, if Hotshot is still even champion by the time I get to him. Doesn't matter. That's what I'm gunning for.
In a way, Hotshot doesn't have a dance partner or a clear opponent at this point in time. I mean, do you think there's still time to kind of like insert yourself into that conversation?
I think I should always be in a conversation for that kind of thing, right?
Okay.
I think my skills speak for themselves. I think I should always be in the conversation for the main event scene. So that's what I'm hoping to prove after this roadblock.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit more. I mean, we talked about you versus Joseph already. For someone who perhaps is not familiar, someone who's new, you know, like we were always trying to get new eyeballs on the product. Tell us, or tell them, what exactly can they look forward to you versus Joseph? Other than young guy beats up old guy.
I apologize if this is your first match watching. It's gonna be a total, you know, rollover.
Well, really no respect.
Just gonna be
not a bit.
completely no respect. I
No
mean,
props.
it's in
No
the match
respect
itself,
match,
right?
yeah.
It's a
No
no respect
respect
match.
match.
So my no respect is There'll be no, comeback. There'll be no close calls. It will just be a complete rollover. It'll be me dominating Joseph for the rest of the match.
Wow. Okay.
Exactly.
I think you should only say like one nice thing about him this entire interview. But I mean,
Even if that.
fair props. Yeah, I wanted to ask one more question, right? Like the fact that, for example, Hotshot has been champion all this while, doesn't have a dance partner. What do you think of Hotshot's reign so far?
I mean, alright, props to also Hotshot as well. I mean, he beat Big Dave in the biggest show.
Yeah.
In our
Last
biggest
year.
show.
It was a pretty awesome night that
The
night.
crowd went crazy.
Yeah.
There was emotional moments all over.
Yeah.
Like his friends and families were there. All around great. I think he's been a great champion as well. Right? Props to him for that. He beaten up Michael Su from Hong Kong Pro Wrestling
I remember that
Federation.
match, yeah.
So he can hold his own. Yeah. But like I always said, he should always watch out his back.
Yeah.
Like we have some hungry killers in Grapplemax. And I think I'm the hungriest of them all.
Who else? I mean, obviously yourself aside, right? Who else do you think, as far as the younger guys are concerned, has really caught your eye?
So not necessarily a guy, but a girl.
Okay,
Actually.
okay.
But not in that sense. I just wanna.
I don't think I know what that says.
She's very talented. Divya, one
Oh,
of the wrestlers
yes.
that just came in.
Yeah.
Been a champion in India for God knows how long, and just came over to Singapore also to prove a mark.
Nice.
Over here at Grapplemax. So I think she's one to look out for.
And she does have a big match as well on Amplify as well, right? I believe it's a tag team match.
Yes, she's actually with Hotshot for a main event at Amplify.
Which is going to be a very interesting main event, actually.
Yeah, for sure, because we are welcoming some counterparts from Malaysia.
Yeah.
And
Malaysia Pro.
Young, do you want to tell the story of Poppy?
Okay, sure. So when this was announced, right,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was doing my Twitch streams,
Yeah,
a wrestling fan, someone who actually watches a lot of local wrestling, was like, yeah, I'm super excited to watch Poppy. So I was like, I'm not familiar with Poppy. So on stream, I go and check out Poppy's Instagram page. And then suddenly everybody's in chat like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of pro wrestling, where can I watch Grapplemax?
So
like,
is
wow,
everyone a fan,
okay.
I see,
Hey,
I
but
see how it goes.
Typical.
I would argue if like somebody on this chat say, hey, I want to watch Jordan, and you pull out Jordan's Instagram,
Hey, I'll try that this week. I'll
Yeah.
try that this week.
you'll get the same reaction as
You
well.
gotta, you gotta see what your main demographic
That's
is.
true,
that's
true.
Yeah. I think even in the guys' demographic, that would still work. Like, I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
get a lot of,
Okay,
in
yeah,
that department
sure,
also
sure.
messaging me as
Come,
well.
give me some.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I know, man. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
You wait. Are you implying that you get DMs?
Until now, I don't know, man.
Why not?
Shit happens.
Foreign
man.
is a good-looking guy.
Foreign's in the building, bro.
Foreign's in the building. In
Yeah.
your building.
Apparently, I'm doing something wrong. Okay, you guys need
No,
to
no,
teach me
you
a
are
thing or two.
happily married.
Oh, I'm happily
That's
married.
why,
That's
that's
why.
why.
They see the wedding ring.
No, no, they know the boundaries are there.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
they don't
They,
even
they, they
try.
see the splint, you're like,
What?
They don't see a ring.
have or don't have, yeah, that's
The
it.
split, huh?
Yeah. Okay, but
How did you injure yourself again?
Hey,
What happened here, actually?
it's a football injury.
Football.
People laugh because football, but you injure your finger.
Can you fall down or what? Lah?
But I disagree with all those listeners who ask me what happened in the bedroom. Nothing happened there. Okay.
he one day forgot to use hand lotion.
Ah.
See, the hashtag bring back hand lotion.
No, hello is long gone. Okay, we are going,
come back, let's
we
come
are
back.
going way down other territory.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you one more thing as well before we talk about this as well, right? Like, yes, this is a great international match, but have you actually had a match in MyPW, or have you actually come into contact with like the Wonder Boy?
So interestingly, just last month, I actually went to Kuala Lumpur for a work trip.
Ah,
And during
okay.
one of those days, I actually went over to MyPW to,
nice.
check things out. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of this. I'm actually Malaysian.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
So,
Cool.
already, like, I already know some of the people there.
Where were you originally from in Malaysia?
From Penang, actually.
Oh,
That's
nice.
where I'm from. Yeah.
Great town. Okay.
So
I thought Seoul, Korea.
maybe some roots. I don't know. Maybe my family tree expands
Oh,
beyond
sure.
Malaysia
Interesting.
from China.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not too sure, but
Okay.
could be. But yeah, I went over to MyPW, and the boys and girls are working hard over there. They're super talented. I believe Miles and Karu,
yeah.
and also Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
They're currently the coaches for MyPW. And
Wow, young coaches.
yeah, young coaches, and they receive training from Edman and also some of the guys from Australia's pro wrestling scene as well. Carlo Cannon, I believe,
Oh,
is
yeah.
their head advisor.
Ah,
So
okay.
that's where they get their training structure and all that.
How's like their infrastructure there in MyPW, right? Like it's like the main thing is like their shows and their training school. Like how do they run their business over there?
So I'm not too exactly sure how that works. I believe they always hold tryouts if they, if you guys are at Malaysia, you believe that pro wrestling is the thing for you. I believe that MyPW is truly a good place. I trained there for like 2 hours, I think, and like their curriculum is really great. They have it fully safe. They do have a good structure, I believe, going on. So I think that would be a good thing if you're a new wrestler coming up in Malaysia.
Pretty cool. And also, I think one thing I wanted to ask you is like, you've been traveling. You mentioned you travel in Thailand. You had training in Malaysia. What is always the goal for a Southeast Asian wrestler, in your opinion?
I mean, when you're a Southeast Asian wrestler, opportunities aren't as easily discoverable as in compared to like North America, in Mexico or in Japan. So like, if you want to make it big, it's always like good to dream about, going to these other countries, right? It's always good to get your name out. In Southeast Asia, for me specifically, I would, love the opportunity to go to other countries. Like Philippines have a good scene going on. South Korea also has a good scene going on, right? Pro wrestling.
Nice.
Pro Wrestling Federation, I think it's called PWF. So a lot of opportunities as well in Southeast Asia. I mean, Australia also has a really bustling scene, right? A lot of wrestlers over there has gone over to Japan, over to WWE. Robbie Eagles actually also just recently came over to Grapplemax.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a quick minute? Because when I saw it on social media, I was like, holy crap, Robbie Eagles is in town, right? Why is he in town for? Is it just to train you guys?
Alright, so from what I've heard, when he came over, he actually came to Singapore for a layoff. Going to the UK for Royal Quest. Like one of the big shows in the UK. So he requested, just asked like the management for Grapplemax and WE if he could come over and just give us some advice.
So it was his idea. He just randomly
apparently he contacted us, and I think it just goes to show like the reach that Grapplemax has in Southeast Asia.
Of course, I also kind of had this thought that maybe is it still that connection that you guys have with New Japan? Because I know at the start of the year you all announced that New Japan has some sort of like there is Grapplemax considered like a feeder territory or like a collaboration with New Japan. So did he leverage on that contact in your opinion?
I mean, honestly, I don't have the details on that, so I can't give you like, a truly objective answer on that. But from what I know, he just specifically requested if he could come over and just show the girls and boys some tricks.
Awesome. Really love it. I mean, that's a huge high-profile name.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's very quickly looking at this card that's happening this Saturday, right? Give me your first thought when I tell you the match. Wonder Boy and Poppy versus Hotshot and Divya.
It's gonna be fast paced.
Okay.
It's gonna be. I mean, you already have like 2 champions over there from Wonder Boy and also from Hotshot. I mean, Wonder Boy, I'm not sure if he's still holding a title, but he's always been like the mainstay for MyPW wrestling, right?
That's right.
So it's always a treat to see him. Poppy as well. I've also heard good things about her. I'm sure a lot of your audience also heard maybe seen good things about her as well. So
it is what it is. It's a Julia effect.
So it's gonna be interesting to see that dynamic. I don't watch too much mixed tag team wrestling, so that's always like something to watch out for, especially in Singapore.
Is that something you'd be open to doing at some point?
I mean, if the cards are right, if the partner is right, then why not? I'm willing to beat up anyone.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right, tiebreaker singles match. Sarah Coldheart versus Ming Rui. Okay.
This one's very interesting. So the women in Grapplemax are always like one to watch out for, right? Sarah has been doing like something with Christian. That's also an old name that I have fought before.
That's right.
Remember,
right?
Sure.
So I mean, it's always something to watch out for. Just recently, she has faced those people from Japan. Meisuruga.
Meisuruga and it's the Indian guy. I can't remember. It's off the top of my head.
Their finisher was the dolphin.
Say louder off camera is fine.
Balianaki, Meisuruga and Balianaki.
Yeah.
Good. Best Bros.
Best Bros.
Yeah.
That was a great match.
It was a great match. Yeah, I did watch that one. So she held up her own surprisingly, and I was like, wow, she actually could go. I mean, I did face her once. She gave me a big suplex. I'm still feeling it. Right.
So
Right.
that's
So
pretty
I
wild.
know she can go. I do know she can go. And if she can pull out that suplex on Ming Ray as well, Ming Ray is also someone to watch out for. Last I heard, she was a big old lion.
Yes.
I tag team with her.
Yeah.
I know that she can also. So it'll be interesting to see these two women go at it.
Yeah, they're very cool, very cool.
Talk to us about this NWE graduation match. Justin. Have we seen Justin before?
I don't think so.
No,
So,
he's
okay.
completely new. Yeah,
Right.
so I believe he only joined us just a few months ago, and went through the
wow.
Grapplemax training structure, and he's ready. Like we always give the new guys an opportunity to step up, and if they can step up, then we of course give them a debut match
Right.
at Amplify.
And he is teaming with Simon Sia, going up against Aussie,
Oi,
who have officially been crowned Aussies, apparently.
Yes.
After the previous show, yes.
So you can't complain about
I can't
them
talk-
anymore.
yeah, no.
They are officially like you can consider them citizens of Australia now.
They've been
Under
baptized
the
or
boomerang,
By the
under
boomerang,
hand,
get the
so,
hair.
from an actual Australian as well.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't gripe about it anymore.
Big
damn
Ben
it.
Bellows.
Yes,
yeah.
love it.
That's as good as like a citizenship card.
But in a very interesting, twist of fate, right? They are, been well known, documented they are having some internal strife between their team.
Yeah.
Do you think that will factor in any way in this match, or is this gonna be like you say a walkover?
Or do you think Sean is actually, he's doing the best Sean that he can now, and he should be doing what he's doing?
I mean, that's up to them. I don't know what their culture is between those two. I'm not even sure what the relationship is between the two. Do they have kids? Do they not have
Whoa.
kids between
Huh?
both of them? I'm not sure what their relationship is. They seem as like tight. You like?
Yeah.
I mean that's there's a reason why they're in the finals, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
openweight tag team belts, like they have been consistently the best tag team, not just in Grapplemax, but in all of Southeast Asia.
That's pretty cool.
They go to Australia for training sessions. They work hard.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, if I look at this matchup, like Simon and Justin are gonna have a tough time, unless they can exploit this kind of strife, I guess, between the both of them.
Yeah.
But that's up to them. I don't see Simon being that kind of person. He's always like the fight guy.
Yeah.
But Justin's the wild card here, right?
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
sure what
Yeah.
he is capable of. You're not sure what wrestler he is. So it'll be interesting to see what they can exploit.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And of course,
Yes, there's one more thing
Yes.
that's listed here that I'm
Very
very
curious.
interested because it is rather question mark.
Very
question mark.
vague, very vague.
Yeah, TBC
Yeah.
type of thing. Big Dave in action. Okay, I know you're on the
action.
inside scoop. Is there anything you can share
yeah.
in terms of what is Big Dave throwing out some sort of open challenge? Like why is he in action? What's he?
Look, Big Dave is always an enigma. He's always like, I don't know what's going on between him and Ban. He doesn't really interact with the locker room. Like, I don't think I've seen him much at all, so I can't quite say on what's
Okay.
going on with
Yeah,
his
yeah.
mentality,
Yeah.
this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Dave in action, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he could say something? He
Yeah.
could
I-
give some push-ups?
I don't know, man. Like
Okay, man, he shows up in the ring, 10 push-up. Okay, bye. I'm
That's
done.
all in
That was
action.
me in
That
action.
was all
Haha.
my mind is in the gutter after our conversation. For some reason,
Walao!
I thought of H and Lita. Like
What?
Why?
What?
Big Dave in action in the middle of the
Why?
ring.
This is a family-friendly
With who?
show.
Then I don't know. By himself. The hand lotion makes a return.
Oh no!
Okay.
Dave versus hand lotion.
Let me kill off that rumor instantly. I'm pretty sure it's not that. Pretty sure everyone in the locker room would try to stop him. Before that.
But I don't know, man. He's a wild card. That's
Yeah. I mean, it could be anything. It could. I honestly don't know.
No,
Like,
if,
is he
if,
gonna
if,
give a
if
speech?
nothing else,
You know what we need to look forward to now?
Yeah.
The interaction between Big Dave and foreign
Yeah.
hosts.
I think you
Amplify.
need to watch out.
Yeah, I think he will have some words for you, bro.
Yeah.
I think I might need another splint.
might
On your neck.
Yeah, whole cast. Actually.
God.
Gotta
Okay.
watch out. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
no.
But you know what? That actually has intrigued a lot of people.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure more people bought tickets because they know Big Dave is
Yeah.
in action.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's always been like, he was the former openweight champion.
Yep.
He has been a veteran in the pro wrestling scene for
Yep.
God knows how long, 10 years plus. So, him doing something as big as this, I think it would be interesting to find out, what's going on with him.
But also, like, his tag team, Broken Bad,
Yeah.
does have tag team title shots at the next anniversary show.
Yeah.
So could this in any way be an implication or, a reminder into that?
Is there a bun discipline session? So you come in and like whack him until he.
Wow.
No, but they've been working together well, so
Yeah.
you know there hasn't been
Oh
dissension
no,
in that
with,
way.
with his mentality, like it could always split either way.
Yeah.
One moment he's giving love to Ban.
Yeah.
The other moment, alright, maybe bad choice of words.
Props.
One moment he's
Spreading him on the
working
back.
well with
Yeah,
Ban. The
yeah.
other moment he could be just slamming him with chairs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So who knows, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, whenever I see stuff like this, right, I always go to who is not wrestling, who in the roster is free, you know, and I go to looking at social media, look at Grapplemax's social media and see what's going on there. There could be a hint here or there, you
Okay.
know. That's where my head is at, lah.
Okay, so you look at the clue. So you're encouraging the listeners to
Oh,
check out
absolutely.
Grapplemax's social media to
Correct.
see what's happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Check
Okay.
out our roster page and Grapplemax, see who's missing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You could be able to figure it out.
Speaking on digging up rumors and like speculations, right? I just want to ask one question about anniversary show.
Yeah.
Do we have anything that you can share about what's going to happen next month? A venue announcement, perhaps? Is there any sort of breaking news that you can share with us?
Right, so besides being really good at wrestling, I also do have some inside scoops.
Okay.
There you go.
For our anniversary show. So I think this is like our first time, this exclusive scoop. We haven't revealed anything on social media.
Nice, nice, nice.
So it is officially called the Grapplemax Pro Wrestling Festival.
Festival. Okay.
And it's actually we are supported by the government now. Supported by
Wow.
the People's Association.
Okay, okay.
Wait.
Hey, next level already, man.
Next
Supported
level.
by PA?
Yeah, PA.
Nice.
So
Wow.
we are officially getting up there now within,
Yes.
I guess, Singapore's hierarchy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Okay. So
If it's government approved, it must be good.
that means people can come one. They will say like, okay,
People can
legit.
Yes.
Yeah,
This one is approved from the government now, so you have to come.
Yes.
Mandatory.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, wait. So like, are there gonna be any ministers as guests of honor? Usually this kind of show got, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? You have to come check it out, right?
Sekali
If it's-
Minster take bamo.
Wait.
Don't know about
Maybe,
that.
who knows?
There will
right?
be- there
Maybe
will
I
be.
could be the one giving.
Oh
it.
yeah. Mothership.
Actually, it's very interesting. Our ministers are now super like into
Social media.
pop culture and social media.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if you saw Senior Minister Lee Hsien Loong.
Yeah.
He talked about watching Wukong playthroughs
Yeah,
on YouTube.
I
Oh,
saw.
really?
I
He
saw
like,
that.
hey.
He's on Mothership. Yeah.
Yeah, fella gamer.
He knows video games?
Apparently.
No, he goes on YouTube and watch the
playthrough.
playthrough.
Like he himself no time to play lah, you know. But
mean,
See the let's plays, the walkthroughs.
Yeah.
and all
or
that.
maybe learn the storyline.
yeah. He can read the book lah, but the fact that he is
Yeah.
into this gaming
Even
culture in a
aware
way,
of it.
yeah,
That's
it's a big deal.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I'm very curious to know like how did this partnership come about? Like how did was it they find you guys found them?
Was this something we need to consult Greg?
I think I have exclusive scoop, but not the scoop is not that.
Oh, no high
Not that deep.
I don't know if I have a big scoop for that. I think
Okay,
that's
okay.
the thing you would have to ask management.
We'll
for.
put on our investigative cap and
Yes.
let you guys know some
But I'm
research.
pretty sure there will be a guest of honor.
Okay,
Minister.
definitely. Okay, so this is a festival. So I'm assuming, is it just a show? Is there gonna be fringe events? Is there gonna be a whole day thing? What's happening there?
Yeah, so for this anniversary show, we're gonna be doing something that's a little bit different. So for this show, actually on the day itself, the itinerary is that from 10 to 12 p.m. there'll be workshops.
Okay.
And it's completely free for anyone to attend as well.
Wow.
So imagine sort of like our open house where you do like, some kind of like curriculum on like chain wrestling, running the ropes, that kind of thing. So we'll be doing that as well for
Wow.
our pro wrestling festival, for our
Nice.
anniversary show.
That's pretty cool. Okay, wait, did you mention the venue yet?
Oh no, we haven't discussed about that yet. Okay, so it'll be held on the 16th of November.
16
Okay,
November.
16
Okay.
next
16
month.
November. So not
Save the dates.
not that far.
Yeah,
alright?
save the
It's
dates.
less than a month. So make sure to already clear your dates. Honeymoon, whatever, just cancel that. Just come to this show. When's the next time you can come from a government approved wrestling show? Right?
Exactly. It's a Saturday, by the way, so no excuse, no work. If your boss
Yeah.
asks you to overtime, tell your boss to go away.
Okay, I
Tell
got
your boss to come along for the show. as well.
Yeah, so you can slam him.
Yeah, exactly.
Or her.
Exactly.
Ah.
You have an excuse for that now.
yeah, I got some breaking news that literally came out on my phone,
Yes.
and I think I can at least mention this.
Okay, go.
Greg says that there will be
Yes.
a minister guest of honor.
Yes, correct. So confirm this type of thing got opening ceremony and then guest of honor, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So okay,
yeah.
16 November venue.
venue would be at the Jurong Spring Community Club.
Community
The multi-purpose
center.
hall.
I see. You hear that? That's my heart breaking because it's in the west.
Alamak, take a bus, take MRT lah.
No, cannot go east west already. Very hard.
Oh, why? Oh,
It's prepared already.
Repair.
Yeah, the fridge already lah.
Okay, say yours.
Unless it breaks down again, no jinx left.
Wait. He said MP, not minister. Got difference,
MP.
MP, not minister.
we will find out akan datang. Wait.
Yeah, what's it? Yeah.
On their
To
social
be
media
determined,
page, yeah,
you
they
know.
will announce one.
Never
confirm.
know, some kind of last minute run-ins. Even from prime ministers.
Yeah, it could be a swerve.
Yeah.
And then someone even bigger shot coming.
It's Priest Nana.
No. So okay, Jurong Spring Community Club, 16th of November. Clear your schedule, everything. So okay, you talked
Exactly.
about 10 to 12. There's the
Firework
tryouts, quote unquote,
shows,
free
that kind
workshops.
of thing. Then from 6 p.m. onwards, it'll be our actual show.
Okay.
So that's where we have our wrestling, exciting matches coming up.
Yeah.
And I think one of the first ones that I can announce is actually my match.
so
you teased
I will have a
us.
match.
You tickled the balls the whole 2
That's
hours.
the reason why I'm even giving the scoop is because I am in it.
Just now, remember I was like, hey, what are you aiming for? I think you know already lah.
Yeah, there you go.
Ice cream. Okay, carry on.
Ice cream?
Scoop lah.
Oh,
Guys.
okay.
So let me give you the different flavors of scoops. That
Yeah.
So of course it'll be me, right? I'm gonna be wrestling in the match, and then I'll be facing. It's actually a triple threat.
Oh, okay.
A triple threat, and there's actually an international wrestler. Another international wrestler that's gonna be involved with me.
Wow. Okay.
So first up, the first opponent is Simon Xia.
Okay. High flyer versus
Some
striker.
history,
That would be
some history
pretty
there.
dope.
Always exciting to watch him. Always
Yep.
exciting to watch him fight. And also the international wrestler, Shaheen of the Sky from WrestleFest DXB Dubai.
Oh,
Dubai. Shaheen of the Sky.
Okay.
Shaheen.
how much of his
Damn.
work have you seen? What do you know of him? For those who are unfamiliar.
So I am aware of him because I'm a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he's part of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Academy at the LA Dojo.
Wow.
So his work got him noticed from New Japan Wrestling,
Pretty dope.
and he has wrestled, so many countries.
So is he based in Dubai or is he an American training in
I'm
LA?
pretty sure. I think he's the head trainer for Dubai Wrestling Academy, if I'm not wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's the head trainer over there, and he has been wrestling all across the country, the globe even. Yeah. So he's doing some work for the LA Dojo, and I think that's like his main base of operations right now, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting.
Wow. Yalla Habibi. I can't wait. Alright, that'll be pretty cool.
So there you go. We have an opponent for Jordan coming up on opponents.
Yes.
We have the match.
Is there any implication to this match? Do you think it might lead to anything down the road? Again, title opportunity in the future?
I mean, it's just gonna be simple. I'm gonna be winning the match.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yes.
Like these are all roadblocks to my eventual goal, which is championship opportunities, championship belts. Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter who it is. It could be Simon, it could be Joseph, whatever. It could be Shaheen of the Sky. In the end, I'm still gonna be champion at the end of this road.
Yeah, pretty cool. I like how we completely gloss over Joseph and
I mean, as you should.
Oh wow, okay.
As you should.
Okay. Maybe that 1% in me would love to see
The underdog. Would you
a
consider him?
competitive match?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, he has gotten so much love from the audience.
Yeah.
I don't understand, even the people watching, you
Yep.
could be Joseph supporters, the people love him. Use your head lah, those kinds of things.
Yeah,
whatever
use
lah.
your head, yes.
You know, he has gotten so much love from the audience, which I do not understand.
Okay.
Maybe they are all also old at heart. They want to see, maybe they see their grandpas,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
see the elderly.
Putting
Elderly
all-
abuse, you don't want
yeah,
elderly.
They don't want to get the elderly abuse and all that,
Yeah,
whatever
makes sense.
lah.
Yeah, that makes
This is my opportunity to show them,
Okay.
you know why they shouldn't put all their eggs in the
Sure.
Joseph.
Very cool.
I think we may have to get a little bit more of an objective
Yeah.
discussion about
It's not
that.
biased, not
Yeah.
biased.
Oh,
It's,
I mean, in just a bit. Yes.
Do you have anything else to share for the Grapplemax show?
So that will be our first announced match. So actually, the main thing is this show is completely free to the public.
What?
What?
Wait. It's absolutely free. Anybody
It's
can just
free,
come
so
down.
anyone can come in.
Ah.
You can watch our matches. You can even come join in the free workshops as well.
Do you have to sign up and get a free ticket, or can you just walk up and just
So,
grab a seat.
so let me tell you how it works, alright? So general admission is free. So really, you have no excuse to not
Yeah.
come, alright?
Damn, okay.
16th of November, come all the way. I don't care if you're from the West, if you're from the Central, if you're from Philippines, Indonesia, whatever. Just fly over, alright?
Yeah.
So it'll be at Jurong Spring Community Club at the Multipurpose Hall, 16th of November. And it is free for everyone.
We just. Greg is in my ear.
Yeah.
So macam like Tony Khan or Triple H in my ear.
Triple H, busy man.
He's not walking.
So okay, tickets must be claimed from the website. So okay, so you
And it's
they're
limited. It's limited.
Yeah, so get them before they get completely snapped up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tickets, you have to claim it from. All right. So be quiet for this. All right. I'm just gonna tell everyone where to claim it from.
Let's go.
PW Festival. I hope you can spell festival. All right.
Oh, wow.
pwfestival.piatix.com. All right. Piatix, I'll spell it out for you. Okay.
Okay. Clearly, we have a lot of idiots listening to our podcast.
Yeah, exactly. if the Joseph supporters are watching us, I assume that
okay.
you know they're gonna be in that regard already.
FEST. Oh shit.
Are you a Joseph supporter?
No, I'm
You can spell, right?
I'm missing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go
Alright,
Full website.
festival, alright? pwfestival.piatix. It is spelled PEATIX, right? Piatix.com. So that's where you can claim your free admission.
Okay.
If you
At our
can't
pro wrestling
spell
festival.
ticks right, it's T-I. Thomas Jefferson, sucker! You get that? If you get that reference, I love you too. 2 + 2 = Thomas Jefferson, sucker. Remember that?
I think it's out of my 18.
Guys, you
Bro, is this a boomer? I don't understand what's going on. Wait, I'm older than you.
Bro, Booker T and The Rock, their segment on Raw. Oh my god, you're definitely not
I thought
attitude.
TIX what? Then what does that have to do with X?
No, because if I have to explain the joke, it's not funny.
No,
so
yeah,
let's
no.
just move on.
Maybe
Okay.
it wasn't funny to begin with.
You guys.
Okay.
never
Leave
mind.
it in chat whether you thought you caught Foreign's deep cut. It's a deep cut.
No, it's not that deep, but sure, carry on.
Okay. Okay. So when do these tickets go on? Well, not sale, but when can they be
It
redeemed?
should be live right now.
Oh,
so
really?
By
Already?
the time,
Okay.
yeah, I think pretty sure by the time this releases,
Yeah.
they should be able to go to the site and claim it for their own.
Wow, okay.
If you have any questions, if you don't know how to spell festival, just go, just go to Grapplemax's Instagram page. I'm sure all the information will
Yeah,
be
all the
posted.
And
info
the
should be
socials
there,
as
in the
well.
On the
bios.
socials,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me just add on one more thing. Of course, if you want to show a little bit more support to Grapplemax, there's also a very worthwhile VIP upgrade that you can do as well.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So a VIP upgrade, it's also inclusive of an exclusive fan seating area. Right? So general admission, you can sit anywhere you want, but
Yeah.
you probably won't get like the really comfy seats
Yeah.
that we would have for our VIPs.
Yeah.
Alright.
So this is an upgrade of $25. $25, you just top it up, and then you get this exclusive fan seating area. Besides that, you also get a very exclusive event T-shirt that is worth $35.
Oh,
Nice,
so you
nice.
really have the value from the T-shirt
Yeah,
itself.
maybe
Yeah.
a t-shirt or
And
buying
you get
some of
good
the merch.
seat, yeah.
Exactly. So
exactly.
I've seen this shirt. It's very nice design. I would love to have that.
So it's an anniversary themed design.
It's exclusive to our anniversary.
Okay,
So
okay,
this
okay.
is like limited. You won't get there like next year, that kind of thing. So it's gonna be exclusive to this festival.
Awesome. So I can't wait for the social media rollout, all the announcements that you guys are going to
yeah,
make for the show. That'll be really, really interesting. Last question as well. In terms of the layout, right? Because I'm assuming it's a community center, MPH. How would you see the fans who get the VIP upgrade be seated at? Like how will that be laid out?
I mean, honestly, it's gonna be close to the action, right? So it's gonna be as close as you can get to pro wrestling action that you can get. So I'm not too sure on the specific details,
Yep.
but you will be able to see like from the entrance to everyone wrestling right in front of you. So the value is worth right there already. You'll be able to see me up close in action, lah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
For
worth
sure.
definitely worth your $25
Yeah,
plus
yeah.
the shirt already, lah.
Awesome.
Get some of the Jordan sweat. I mean, aura.
Yeah, the Oppa.
Up close, that kind of thing.
Plus 1,000 aura, yes.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay. Any final message for your opponents, Joseph and Simon Sia and the Shaheen?
I mean, I'm just gonna address you, Joseph. Right?
Okay.
So, honestly, in my entire life, I've been told to show respect to the elders. Growing up, I'm sure both of you have also been told to respect your elders. I don't respect you, Joseph. I really don't. And you're gonna realize that on the 26th of October when I kick your head off.
I want to drop the mic, but the mic is on the
Yeah.
table. No, I don't want to drop
I
the
mean,
mic, but that's the
I'm
mic
just
drop.
gonna show. I'll show more respect to the mic than I do to Joseph's.
The disrespect this entire episode. Man.
Damn, man.
I mean, have you seen his promo video? He drank both beer and coffee at night. Right, that's horrible for your body. Right? What are you doing, Joseph? That already shows that you shouldn't even respect someone like Joseph in the first place.
Maybe he's trying to say that no matter what goes on, I'll still persevere. Even if I have shitty sleep, even if I have caffeine and alcohol, I can.
He's trying to clear his digestive system lah. So
What?
bangsai
I'll
lah.
say
After you
LS
drink
first.
the beer.
Nah.
Okay, never mind. But yes, that's a great way to end the show.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Jordan, thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much for having me.
And there you go. That's Jordan. We had Prabhu on the show earlier as well. What a fun time to be a pro wrestling fan, huh?
Yeah, man, it's always fun to be at the Grapplemax Studios. They always welcome us with open arms, and I'm very excited for what they have in store for these next couple of weeks and months.
Absolutely. Here's the thing, like we always take a break at the end of the year, right? But I feel like this year, a lot of stuff is going to be building up to the debut of WWE on Netflix, local wrestling scene. What is AEW going to do to counter program, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan.
It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. It's a bad time to kind of like end the season, I feel.
Yeah.
But most of you forget, we ended our season last year with Survivor Series and CM Punk returning.
That's true.
So even though we are out of that cycle for a bit, I think the wrestling cycle will still continue going.
Yeah.
And bro, we're gonna end off things with a bang for Kick to the Gut as well,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. And once we have more details, we will tell you, we'll fill you in on them. That's why you need to come and join us on Discord. Follow our social media pages, hang out with the community on Discord. There's always something to talk about in the world of pro wrestling, and we'll chat about it on the Discord. So Discord links in bio and all that. You know how to find us, lah. Huh?
Yeah, for sure. And of course, please support us on Patreon as well. We have a lot of perks there. And again, as part of the Patreon perks that we have, we are trying to build towards the Singapore Wrestler Top 20, our first ever local wrestling list of the top 20 Singapore wrestlers, be it from Grapplemax, SPW, and Ring of Rebirth. We will unveil that list pretty soon to end of the year, along with our Kick to the Gut Awards.
I can't wait. We've been down to all the wrestling events. Even if we are not there, we have our eyes there to, suss out the entire scene. And it's going to be fun to crown our number one and see the whole list.
Yeah, so watch out for our announcements really soon as we announce like where we're gonna where we'll be doing it, the venue, how we're gonna go about the whole process. The unveiling is gonna be really fun.
As always, we need to shout out our lovely sponsor, Hasif. Hasif_captures. Drop our dude follow on Instagram. He is an independent financial advisor. You can ask him about anything. It's not just about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for
dude's
sure.
into fitness. He's into makan.
Yeah, for
you can
sure.
have day with Hasif. That's like a series he does.
And again, like if you want to have a second opinion on your financial portfolio, you can check him out. If you want to learn more about small businesses, how to start small businesses, you can talk to him as well. I think most importantly, he is very, very interested and curious about our wrestling community. We are going to try to get him to one of the local wrestling shows before the end of the year. That will be really, really fun. So please follow him and please thank him for supporting Kick to the Gut.
Absolutely. And thank you for supporting Kick to the Gut. Thank you for your time. We will catch you again soon. But as always, it's Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building.
Bring 'em out!